Mark, it's been a busy night, certainly, so far. Then the race for Ward 3, as you see, the open seats. Kevin Coughlin stepping down after 14 years in office. And these are unofficial, 5 of 5 precincts reporting. But it looks like Ian Cain will be your next Ward 3 councillor with 1,968 votes, and Carl Roos at 1,544 votes. So a little close there, but looks like Mr. Cain, welcome to our coverage.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations.
It's great to be back.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Talk about this campaign and what got you in to running.
Whole experience when it comes to
it's a
public
lot
service.
of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of money too, a lot of time and effort, and that's why I commend every single person that puts themselves out there, because this has been an unbelievable experience over the past 7 months for me personally. But I see how hard that my opponent Carl Roos worked, even Sandy in the primary, and everyone who's been involved in this race all over the city, have been, especially from the mayoral race, which has been going on for the majority of this year.
Some items that you would like to address that certainly part of your campaign, streets, that's common.
Right.
In just about every ward in the
Certainly.
city.
Yep.
Right.
Trees, blight,
Yeah.
seniors, and of course the opioid epidemic.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's a long list, and I think I at least first mentioned that I'd like to tackle the streets and at least the streets and the sidewalks, because that's sort of the number one thing that's kind of come up with folks when I was knocking on doors, and that'll involve working with the mayoral administration. So I look forward to doing that, and helping to develop what would be hopefully a capital improvement plan, or at least some orderly way to communicate to folks that their streets are being rated, so that they understand in what order they're going to be repaved or taken care of, and kind of what lies beneath. Is there underlying infrastructure problems that are preventing the streets from being repaired in a timely fashion? But just being more communicative, just being more transparent and clear about how it's going to be done. I think that actually provides the constituents with much more comfort, as opposed to just thinking that there's this nebulous process that exists for repaving the roads.
Like magic, right?
Yeah, and if it's political.
Right.
So.
And we talked about blight, and of course, folks will know that the Inspectional Services Department in the city has an officer that addresses blight. Is that helping?
That's something I'm going to have to look into a little bit more, because I've heard a lot from the constituent side, and I have had conversations with the Inspectional Services Department thus far, but not as extensive to understand what is preventing them from taking care of all the issues and meeting the concerns of the constituents. So I look forward to seeing, how we can, have better methods for enforcement in certain issues that are taking place in the neighborhoods that people aren't necessarily thinking are good for the neighborhood. So that's something I'll definitely be digging deeper into, probably over the next few weeks. It was funny today, just being at the polls, people already started to tell you, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. So I look forward to having the opportunity to dive in.
One piece of advice Councillor Coughlin offered to his successor was stay in touch with the constituents, return phone calls.
Yep.
That communication is key. Do you have a plan for that, to stay in touch with your
Yeah,
constituents?
absolutely. I mean, hopefully we can set up, proper methods, obviously phones and emails, et cetera. We can certainly have modern technological advances by setting up blogs or other sorts of communication that can allow people to access you in certain ways. I know that Kevin was renowned for returning phone calls in a very short period of time, so I'm going to have to keep that up, which I look forward to.
And you mentioned technology, very important, social media, but when you're dealing with seniors, not all seniors are connected with social media. So the returned phone call, maybe snail mail?
Yeah, even letters. Yeah, I'm no stranger to even handwriting letters. We did that a lot in the campaign. I've done that over the years. But of course, communication through snail mail, that's no problem. I mean, however we need to reach everyone in the ward is priority.
You brought up the issue of development. That was one of the concerns that I heard too from speaking to folks during this campaign.
Right.
Do you have a kind of a plan to balance development? It's obvious that it's needed, but people don't want to lose their quality of life in the residential neighborhoods
Certainly.
either. Yeah.
Well, it's about understanding at least the priorities of the certain developers that are trying to put properties on parcels of land. It's about opening up those developments or those plans to the public. For instance, we have this coming Thursday, already started to get to know some folks who've been involved in the ward. So Work Inc., which is a company that was located at the corners of West Squantum and Fayette Street for many years. They relocated to Dorchester, but there's still property that's been left vacant. It's been decimated, and there's a plan that's going in there. The CEO reached out to me and said that there's going to be a public forum on Thursday at the Montclair School at 7 p.m. and just wanted to make sure that we could communicate that to the public. So even last week we were dropping some flyers to the neighborhood, just let them know this is what's going on, and if we are so fortunate to be elected as your counselor, then we're going to make sure that we're sending out communiques like this to make sure that you know what's going on and you can have some input into what's going on in your neighborhood.
Please use us here at Quincy Access Television as part of that effort to reach out, Ian, because
Thank you very much.
That's part of our mission here too.
That's great. I absolutely will.
So put us on your contact list.
I will. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, certainly there's more to talk about. We'll let you get into your ward, and then we do have an In Your Neighborhood program here, which you would come in and be interviewed by us, and we would simply go through your ward. So
wonderful.
Please take advantage of that, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. And one more thing, I just got to say, this is my mother's birthday, so I want to say happy birthday to my mom, and I want to thank everyone for all their support tonight.
Well, happy birthday to
What
your
a
mom
nice
as
gift
well.
for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Councillor-elect Ian Cain.
Thank you very much.
Good to talk
Great
to
to
you.
be here.
Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
All right.
Congratulations.
Take care. Thank you very much.
All right, it's been a very active evening, Mark.
It has. It
been
always has been. It always is here for Quincy Access Television. Again, we have folks at the polls getting those numbers even before they reach City Hall. So I was at the clerk's office earlier today, and the employees of the clerk's office asked what time we were going live, because once again, we will know before they will know.
That's right. Before we talk to our next guest, we have results, numbers to show folks if you're just joining us. And again, these are unofficial, but 31 of 31 precincts reporting in the race for mayor. As you can see, Thomas Koch, the incumbent, at 12,425 votes. Challenger William Phelan at 9,615 votes. At large, we have Joe Finn, the incumbent council president right now at 9,851. Mike McFarland, 8,611. So it looks as though Mike will not be reelected to office this evening. Noel DeBona at 9,493. Nina Lang at 9,487. And David McCarthy at 7,881. So it looks as though Joe Finn, Noel DeBona, and Nina Lang will be the next three at-large city councilors in Quincy for the next 2 years.
And one of those three has joined us here on set. We welcome Noel DeBona. Noel, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much, everyone. What an experience this has been. I can tell you that much. If you want to fire away those questions, go right ahead.
I just want to say that throughout the whole campaign, I saw you out there constantly.
That's what it's really all about. And I want to thank right off the bat all the voters in the city of Quincy. Without the voters and the people behind you that believe in you as a person, this is not possible. And they elected me, so I represent the people. And I tell you, it's been a big strain on my entire family. I've sacrificed many, many hours for this great city, and I'll continue to do that. I have a vision for the city of Quincy and the people in it, and I